Hi, folks, and welcome to the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. It's been quite the week, folks. It has been a lot lately. It's been a lot. We've had multiple shows of sorts. We've had lots of announcements. We've had lots of just, important shit going on. It's been a packed week. I'm John, and to help me navigate these rough waters, I guess you could say, is Solon. Solon, how are you doing this fine evening?
You're right, John. It's been a packed week, and there's just been so many things have happened this week. Not all, bad or anything, just so much. Dense, thick, eventful. We're gonna go over all of it and more. I'm ready.
I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, I guess the big thing.
Yeah, let's start from the top.
Happened.
Let's just get the biggest, meatiest bad boy out of the way.
See, you say this, and I feel like there's the big marketing thing, and then there's the big, actual thing that is good for the industry thing.
Oh, no, I thought you were going to recap CEO, because that's what I'm here for. I want to hear about how John's vacation was to the premier gaming convention CEO and fighting game tournament. Jabali's own.
Sure.
Hey,
all right.
We can say that for later.
Yeah,
we should tease people with that, because that's the big one. We could have it later in the episode, then people listen.
We can ease in. We can ease in.
Yeah, there we go.
We can ease in.
Let's start with something smaller than that, then.
Sure. Oh, no, it's fine. I could talk about the CEO. It's okay. I'll do that. Jeez. So, yes, I went to the fighting game tournament CEO. This is the first time that I've, gone out of my way to travel for a convention of any kind. I went to Anime Expo when I was over in Cali before, but that was because I was already. Oh, okay. Actually, no. Then that's wrong. I was about to say because I was already there for E3. So that's actually the answers that I've traveled for E3.
Yeah, but you're saying you still had to do getting your plane tickets, booking your hotel, doing all the big boy stuff.
Yeah. This is the first time I've done it for mostly leisure, I guess I would say. I do still get a press badge, and part of the mutual respect here is that I get the press badge as long as I talk about the show on the podcast, and I give my legitimate feedback to it. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I've talked shit before, and I'm fine with doing it again.
No, we keep CEO real. We take it to task when it needs to, and this is an important year to do so.
I will just say, pretty much immediately, I think it was as good as it could have been. The fact that we are still in the middle of a pandemic, things are better, quote unquote, but of course, it is still fucking rough out there. The fact that this was pretty solidly safe.
Yeah, what's the hygiene situation? What's going on with people being good to each other?
So from what I saw, yeah, I would say so. I did not really see anyone without a mask. Jabali straight up handed out little bags, those drawstring bags that had a mask, antibacterial wipes, and some hand sanitizer in it.
Yeah. No, that rules. It starts from the top.
Legit. And
that's good culture.
They had a mask mandate, as well as they were checking people's vaccine cards or making sure that you had a negative test before showing up.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, as good as it could have been. There were a few. It does seem like something might have. It did. I don't think anything sprung up there, but with travel happening, shit happens. I've seen one or two. I saw one guy say he got sick right before the event happened, so he excused himself and he didn't go. And then I've seen one person who was at CEO say they were sick, but they said that they started feeling ill a day ago, and just the way that COVID kind of works, there's probably a really good chance they might have gotten it at the airport or something like that.
For sure.
So,
no, just good to hear that, you want your fighting game community to be looking out for each other. That's the whole point of it, and the greatest strength of it.
Yes,
so.
Absolutely. I think for what it was, for the time that it is in, the era that we are living in, I think it was safe as it could have been.
Yeah.
It was well run. And you know what? It was fucking fun.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
How was the fighting?
It was so cool. I am glad to have been there to watch some fucking fighting games. I got to watch Skullgirls on the big screen. I got to watch fucking Tekken. God, Tekken is so good.
It's so
I
good.
love Tekken.
I will always take time out to watch Tekken when it's on. You know, if it's around me, I'm like, all right, let's sit down.
I am horrible at playing a Tekken.
Yeah.
Tekken is one of my favorite games to watch. I cannot play it. There are like stuff like Street Fighter and like Marvel. I want to play those. Tekken, I just want to sit and watch Tekken.
Yep.
Like people who are good at Tekken do amazing stuff, but I can't keep up with it. It was really fun. Got to hang out with some friends that, you know, it's been a hot minute since I've seen some of those folks. And I mean, hell, I met some folks for the first time there.
Nice.
Had a great time. It was very fun.
Did you get to see any Melty Blood?
Yeah, I didn't really.
Huh, okay.
Type Lumina, I think, was kind of off in the corner. Like it was a side event. I didn't really get to see it. I actually saw more people playing old ass Melty Blood than Type Lumina, because Type Lumina was like, you know, the people that are into Type Lumina are like over there labbing, playing against each other constantly. There was a Melty Blood cab that was just like, yeah, here's the casual Melty Blood cab. So like, I got to play some original Melty Blood on a cabinet.
Hey, that's what I was asking for. Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I do kind of want to, you know, play Type Lumina at least once before the end of the year, but that hasn't happened yet.
Hey, there's
I guess
just
we'll see.
A little bit of year left. There's enough.
There is. Mm-hmm. Look, my first fucking paycheck is going to be a disaster area. I'm going to tell you that much. It is going to be, I have to pay some people back for some shit, and then I'm just going to be like, all right, what games did I miss this year? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you've got a new gig, right?
I do. It's a bit weird.
John Jobs.
As it should be, but it's not bad weird. It's fine. I am working at an arcade now.
Oh, okay.
I am doing basically the kind of shit that you'd expect someone to be doing at an arcade in 2021.
Checking masks,
making
and
sure
COVID cards, and making sure people are being good to each other.
For the most part,
wiping down machines,
making sure that people, cleaning stuff, getting people their tickets, because, you know, there are things where people are playing, get their games, and they get tickets, and they can win prizes.
Wow.
I've given people Rick and Morty stickers.
Yep. John's got an arcade. You're like that guy in Tron now that had an arcade.
I mean, if it was my arcade, I think it would be, I'd probably be doing more mask mandate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me.
What, is there a cabinet that is missing that you would have in John's arcade?
I mean, I would have more fighting games. I'm honestly surprised at some of the fighting games they have. They do have X-Men versus Street Fighter, which I'm very happy about.
Very good.
They have Street Fighter 2, and my friend, they have Ultra Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which is a really weird grab.
As a cab?
Yeah. Like, not just a cab, but like they have like an actual arcade setup like for Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Nice.
Like it's not just like, oh, we're like running an Xbox or something like that. No, they have an arcade version of Street Fighter Cross Tekken in this place.
Do they got Killer Queen? Are they one of the few lucky places that has one of those big old cabs?
I think they do at another one of the locations, because this is like a small chain. There's like 2 or 3 of them.
Okay.
And they kind of they swap around which has which. They do have all 3 Black Knight pinball machines, though. They got original, they got 2000, and they got like the new one that came out a few years ago.
Oh, that's great.
I haven't been able to play 2000 though, because they don't have a free credit button. But the new version does, so I played that, and that was pretty fun.
I was actually going to ask next what the pinball situation was.
They got a lot of pinball machines.
So you got
it's
the
like
whole
half
look.
It's half pinball, half standard arcade machines, I would say.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds like you've got a perfect mix with the ticket games also in there.
Yeah, it's good. It's a nice place. I'm not gonna like advertise it because I don't want anyone to come and bother me. But
so you haven't had anyone yet in your first couple of days where they're like the big ticket gamers?
I mean, there's a few folks who like are straight up regulars. Like I come in around midday, so I've had people be like, "You see that guy? He's here every day," like that kind of thing. We're like, they just come in to play some pinball and leave, which I respect that. Yeah, I'm gonna come in here like after work, spend $10, play a few rounds of pinball and leave. I get it. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I guess $10 a pinball could get you a lot of pinball now.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well, that rules.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty alright. We had to record this episode later because I was at work when we were normally recording, so I'm a little tired.
No, I can't wait for you to have some fun arcade stories, or just terrifying arcade stories, any kind. You're just gonna post it in the Discord.
We're
gonna be like, whoa!
I would like for it to not be terrifying.
No, you can have normal arcade stories. It reminds me of there was a dating sim called Arcade Spirits that came out about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's a delightful game. And the thing that they portrayed a lot of is that running an arcade or staffing an arcade is not glamorous. It is just very normal, and there's some colorful people that you'll meet when you go there, and then later in the game you go and kiss all those people, but it's always outside of the context of the arcade itself, so it feels a little more normal and less like you're hunting your own arcade for hot people. You're cruising your arcade.
Yeah. I'm not saying that. I would definitely not want to do that.
But the main theme is that like when I was playing it, I was like, yeah, this really is what it would be like working in an arcade. Just, you know what? Sometimes there's a kid's birthday party, and that might be good, or that might be the worst day of the week. And other days, there's just nothing happening.
I mean, that's probably when you get your best tips, so...
True. Yeah, wait, tips? How do you get tips in an arcade?
Doing parties, mostly.
Oh, okay, yeah, because they'll rent it out and then they'll add some gratuity on the end, sure.
I mean, there is a tips section on the receipt when they pay the money to fill up their game cards. But not many people write anything there.
Please tip your arcade runners. They're working hard to keep it clean.
I get it, I get it. It's you're not thinking about it, but
right? It's not like one of those services that's like, do I tip for this? It's it's not like getting your nails done or something.
Yeah, like I have had arguments with my mom about like leaving a tip when you go to pick up food.
Yeah, like that's one of the main ones.
It's like,
who's not
like,
tipping their food service?
I specifically mean like tipping someone when you go pick it up yourself. Yep. And I'm like, yeah, I do that, and she'll be like, no, I don't have to do that because nobody brought me my food. I tip the delivery person. I don't tip
that is
the
so
people
quaint.
Working there. Which like I get the concept, but like,
especially during COVID, no, those people really need those tips now more than ever.
Yeah,
because they can't service as many tables. Oh, yeah, like, Mom.
Absolutely, I tip whenever I can. So that is not me.
Last arcade question: Do you have a bar attached?
Go ahead. We do, but it doesn't open up until like 10 p.m.
Oh.
And they like shuffle all the children out of there. They're just like, children must leave. And I have not been there while they have the bar open yet. Ooh. So we'll fucking see. I guess I'll do that eventually, but I have not closed yet. And I have not been scheduled to close yet. So
possible John bartender. You could be like Valhalla.
I mean, I'm just going to be handing drunk people Modelo's and hoping they don't vomit on the Galaga machine.
And then you can ask them about their story and start a repertoire with them.
I don't think I'm going to be mixing drinks and changing lives here. I think I'm just going to be handing drinks and ruining my own life, as it were.
I think that was the other part of Valhalla. Yeah. There was a little of that in there too.
Well, she was changing her own life, you know? She went out there and she was meeting people to help fix her shit. That was what Jill... I said this on Twitter a little bit ago, but Jill Stingray is one of the best video game names. That is such a good name for a character. Jill Stingray. Her last name is Stingray. That's so rad.
John, I can't argue with that. I don't know how to.
Dana Zane's not bad.
Dana Zane's good.
Stella Hoshi. Yeah. Pretty, but Julianne Stingray.
Oh, Julianne Stingray. Oh.
That's her full name. Her full name's Julianne, but she goes by Jill. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think if you follow tradition, I think we're like 2 or 3 days into the yearly Valhalla playthrough where you line up each day in the game with the day in real life, because Valhalla's a December game. It's a holiday game.
Yeah,
it ends right. It ends right around Christmas, which everyone always remembers because Dorothy talks about having her big Santa gangbang near the end of the year.
Yeah, gamers, make sure you're starting up on your Valhalla playthroughs. You're already a couple days late. Come on, chop chop.
Yeah, I mean, you can always catch up, but you know, I mean, yeah, I'll do that one of these days. But I keep saying that I want to, and then I don't get around to it because Game of the Year is so hectic.
Oh yeah, no,
I think it's a good thing for people who aren't, say, working for a game website, you know? Like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna check in on Valhalla for like an hour a day.
Yeah, I'm awful at keeping up with any kind of, what are those called when you have the, like, little candy boxes that are for each day of of leading up to the holidays?
It's like a
forget what those are called. You open up a little box and they have a little treat inside.
I know you're talking. I know exactly. An advent calendar.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like an advent calendar.
I just don't have the ability. I don't have the determination for keeping up with an advent calendar because there's so much happening in this month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently bracing myself for the Game of the Year discussions and then eventual videos that we're going to be making. And I've got like 30 games that I've played this month, and it's been so much that I've actually had to keep a list since maybe May.
Oh, I start at my list like immediately.
I have to. I'm realizing.
I start writing down what I start playing like right at the beginning of the year. I've had fucking yeah.
It was like Niles' last contribution to me after podcast was like, oh yeah, I just keep all those on a list. I was like, of course.
Yeah,
it makes things so
just
much easier.
I mean, usually I start it up near the beginning of the year, and then I forget about it for like the entire middle, and then near the end, I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta do that.
Yep.
And then I go onto Wikipedia and I scroll through the games of this year, and then I just write down everything I played.
Yep. No, I go through my like Twitch playlist, like all the VODs that I've put together, and I'm like, okay, yes, I did play those. Okay.
Yeah. Smart. Solon, is there something you want to talk about? Yeah, let's hear from Solon real quick, and then
the big event.
Get on to some news.
So, it's been 8 days since the end of Walking. Final Fantasy XIV has finished its final expansion of this event, of this storyline that they have put together. And that means a lot of things to a lot of people. For people who are playing it right now, it means that they're in a place where they definitely don't want to hear anything about Endwalker unless they have seen it with their own eyes. They want to experience it themselves. I understand. However, we've got on Video Game Choo Choo, we're going to have a podcast specifically devoted to a larger spoiler cast. Usually Skull and Rose will put together their big wrap up. They've been doing it for the last couple of patches and the last expansion, Shadowbringers. But I've just finished Endwalker like 2 days ago. And like most people who play this game, I'm currently idling in the game currently. And I'm sorry, I gotta hit a button real quick. There we go. Okay, now I won't get kicked out. Because those queues sure are 4 hours long. And I don't want to get logged out during this podcast. But I'm worried I want to look out for some of our listeners who don't play Final Fantasy XIV. And so, John, can I tell you a little bit about what Final Fantasy XIV players are feeling right now? This might be a little spoilery, just because I know that FF14 players are very, very resistant to like anything. It's a little kind of weird, actually. People have been down my throat about saying like, "Did you know you put clothes on in this expansion?" And they're like, "Hold up!" And I'm like, "Okay, I get it,
Yeah,
I get it." So I won't take more than 5 minutes, John. I promise.
All right, do whatever you got to do. I feel like I can't stop you.
I don't know if anyone can.
Go ahead. Just go ahead. I will try to interact. No promises, though.
Thank you, John.
Yes,
it's incredible. The thing that people are playing in Final Fantasy XIV is really above and beyond any grades that have already been passed. And so
I bet
which was a high bar already because people really loved Shadowbringers, the previous expansion. Now we're in a situation where basically I just played like 60 hours of this game. Maybe 20 or so of which, 30 or so of which was like actually playing stuff, and then 30 of which was like reading dialogue and having large cutscenes and emotional wrap-ups. And so they pulled out all of the stops. We not only... So in the trailer for this, they showed you going to the moon, and that's the halfway point of the expansion, is literally going to the fucking moon. They go so much farther beyond that, and it's for the sole purpose of wrapping up this storyline. And the storyline you'd think would be like, oh, there's a evil villain, they've started an apocalypse, and we gotta go stop them. What folks, I think, who haven't played any FF14 need to know is that this is more along the lines of like Kingdom Hearts 2, where it's not about the war of like, you know, monsters and heroes. There is like a war of ideas going on. There are deep philosophies that are being explored through this. And I was not expecting how far they would go in. And they left nothing to bear. Like there was definitely points where you weren't fearing for like characters' lives in like a Marvel-esque kind of way. It was more like you were fearing for their constitution. Like, how would they come out of this without, you know, being scarred forever? And there were answers to that. Like, we're talking about an investigation of life and what it means to die, and how do you build a society that is entirely logical, and how does that society collapse on itself without any kind of like love involved in that society, or heart or will of strength. And it all just leads up to a huge climax that makes you feel so good about the world around you, where there is nothing that can get in the way anymore. You are unhindered from not only all of your previous like enemies or whatever. Most of them end up like, you know, you get to see a lot of old characters, and they come back. You go, wow, this person's here. Awesome. We can get closure with them. That's fantastic. I've been waiting 8 years to get closure with this person. And instead of it being like a couple of lines of dialogue that you read on a text screen, like they show up with full voice acting, and it's this like real like coming around moment of like, wow, they're characters that people were really angry. They ended up kind of getting the raw end of the stick early in like earlier expansions, and they make up for that. There was a long trope of, God, I hate it when women die in my Final Fantasy XIV game. And it was a problem. And this game unapologetically was like, we are going to make do. We're going to make do in a way that is realistic and makes for more character interactions that are really valuable and important. And so while they're closing all these threads, they're also having big discussions about what the end of all times looks like. What does an ending look like in a meta sense? And so it just wraps up everything. that like it wraps up like themes of like how to live a good life. So I think that's like the easiest way to put together for if people haven't played FF14, like that's what your friends are working with right now. So please be patient with them. And on top of that, the game has never felt better to press the buttons in. It is way more of an action RPG than it ever has been. Pretty much every class, they've changed up some things so that like you hit more buttons. And when you hit the buttons, it makes sense why you're hitting those buttons. And so I've been having an incredible time, and the camaraderie has been worth it. It's been worth the like late nights. You know, some people talk about like, wow, it's been so long since I've played a 2 a.m. game. No, I was not sleeping some days and then just going to work the next day and then coming home and continuing just because I was so enraptured in what was happening in this game. Because you just go to the ends of every extreme that you could possibly think of inside of the state of a Final Fantasy game. And they have the gall to just be like, that's the end. Except have you been to any of these other places? And you go, oh, frick, you're right. They like leave enough open to where you just go, really? Can we continue like this? It's cool. So anyway, that's my time. That's all I'm going to say. I hope that keeps it a nice middle ground for people who have played it and don't mind me talking about it, and for people who haven't played it, who are just really wanting to know why their friends have stopped talking to them for like 7 or 8 days, and why people are waiting 3.5 hours in line to play this game. Because it is worth it. It is worth it. Oh, here's the wild part. It's worth it if you haven't played this game for like 7 or 8 years. Like if you just start playing today and you go to the end, like a lot of Final Fantasy people don't recognize FF14, not because it's an MMO, but because the story isn't finished. And that means everything to a Final Fantasy player. Like they want a game over the end story concluded. And so now that people have that, and it's in an MMO, so like there's gonna be more because it's an online living game, but there's still that is the end. There's no more than that. So it's got a lot of people really excited. Basically, there's a lot of Final Fantasy people who've never touched 14 who are like, oh, well, if now it has an ending, then I can play something from the start and play it to the end. And you can do it now with like minimal interaction with other people too. The systems are just big enough and diverse enough that you can really play a lot of it solo, which Final Fantasy people, they like that. They respect that. But yeah, there's plenty more I can talk about, and I want Skull and Rose to go in depth because I love listening to them talk about all of the details. But the high level is just the game's never been more accessible, and it has so much opportunity to show you like to help you learn about people and how people can live and how they can die with grace and with honor and what it's like to see the end. Just good closure.
Right, well, yeah, that's I'm glad for y'all. I suppose I'm still not. I still can't do it.
No,
but
that's okay.
All right,
it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone, and that's why I kind of wanted to be like, hey, it's again, this one expansion was like 50 hours, and that is, I guess, technically 1/5 of the game, right?
All right. So there was a lot of news this week.
There was.
I guess we could start off with the Megaton to end all Megatons. Garfield is coming to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Yo! You gonna play Garfield on a Monday?
I guess.
Where my lasagna freaks out.
That joke about Garfield not being playable on Mondays is that it is a joke. You could still play as Garfield on Mondays, but
they got me good.
Everything else about it isn't a joke, though.
Right?
He's in. Garfy Baby's in.
That joke post is why a lot of people know about Garfield even being in. And that's why that joke post is so good, because the part of it that you think is a lie is actually not. Garfield is actually a playable fighting game character.
Yeah, because I guess technically Nick or Viacom or whatever owns Garfield now.
Yep.
So thanks conglomerates for whatever the fuck.
Did we get to see any like gameplay or Garfield in action?
A little bit. It fucking looks like Garfield in a Smash Bros. Type game.
Yep.
He's in.
It's Nick All-Stars is frustrating me just because every character looks like the same. They all have the same like styles of some aerial moves, specials that mix up. You're gonna have a projectile, you're gonna have an up aerial, you're gonna have some kind of deflector down smash. It's they're very similar.
I don't remember if I said this on here, so I'll say it again. I think the problem with Nick All-Stars is that they did not have enough budget. One. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the obvious big problem. But two, they used what budget they had, which I don't blame them for doing this, but it is still the truth. They used what budget they had to make the game for competitive over anything else.
Yeah, really the smallest slice of the pie.
If you watch competitive Nick All-Stars, it does look different. It's fast. It's fluid. The characters look really, really neat. If you are a casual player and you just hop on a Nick All-Stars to futz around a little bit like I did, it sucks.
Really? Is it really
need to
alienating? Because that's what it looked like to me, was like, if I wanted to just jump in and play that.
It's stiff.
Huh.
It's stiff and fucking odd. And, like, there's no fucking sound. There's no voice acting in that game.
Oh, that sounds so empty then.
Up until extremely recently, if you did a mirror match, the characters would look exactly the same, which apparently was from Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon actually said they had to do that because they weren't allowed to just put in recolors. They had to make actual full-on costumes for every character, which they did. But it's still only one costume each. So you have the original look and then the costume look. So if you're doing like a 4-player battle and everyone plays a SpongeBob,
which
you're
is
still
the meta,
going to look like someone else.
I assume that's the meta. Because if I were Nickelodeon, I would make sure that SpongeBob's top tier.
I legitimately don't know what the meta is for this game. I'm going to... Here, you know what?
Yep, let's look this up. I'm right there with you.
All right, Nick All-Stars tier list. Let's see.
October 2021.
Yeah, I guess I'll look at the Game Rant article.
Michelangelo banned!
Yeah, Michelangelo's banned because he's got a chain grab.
Ooh, that's good for him. He deserves that.
I guess Leonardo, Aang, Lucy Loud, and Oblina are the best characters that you can play as. I'm just going to skip to the bottom. Who is the worst character in the game?
Oblina, Meals Monster?
Patrick is the worst character in the game.
Toph and Patrick? Who put Toph in F tier?
Yeah. I guess Toph is bad.
Oh, this game's canceled. Shut it down.
The other? Let's look at IGN's tier list.
Yeah. Maybe this is a little. Maybe they're leaning.
They're saying SpongeBob, but they're saying SpongeBob's S tier here. They said Michelangelo is D tier, which is hilarious considering that he's banned. So I don't know. Is there some kind of voted upon tier list? I don't know. They just have like Armada's tier list, Hungrybox's tier list, Hungrybox's tier list from 7 days earlier.
1 week later.
Yeah, 1 week later. I don't know.
No, I'm going to make my own tier list, and Toph will be at the top. Because she's ace. She's just the aces.
Someone made the Superior Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl tier list, which is hasn't canonically had gay sex, which is everyone except for the two that have canonically had gay sex, which is Ren and Stimpy and Korra.
Yeah, no, that's objective.
Yeah, literally cannot argue with that. That's just, yeah. But yeah, they're gonna have to recalibrate for Garfield. And apparently also, I guess the next character is gonna be Shredder, because I think that was data mined. So the Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will be in this game as well.
Oh, good call. hey, it's been a good year for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They've basically been in like every video game.
Yeah, and they're next year. I think they're gonna have that new side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah,
But I'm interested in that. You know what? I fucking love Turtles in Time.
they had the Fortnite Go.
Sure.
They were also in Hot Wheels Unleashed and continue to be.
Okay.
They're adding more cars to it. And the Nickelodeon All-Stars, definitely.
Right.
I'm trying to think if there's any more, because I feel like there's actually another one. They've been all over the place. Those turtles are going they're out of time.
It's Turtle Time. Turtle Power. Yours and a half shell. All right. If we want to talk about one more real a real shit heap, real quick.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's talk about this real quick. Yeah, Ubisoft. Just in case you wanted to hate Ubisoft more.
I think I have room in my schedule or my heart.
Yeah, well, here you go. They're putting NFTs in Ghost Recon Breakpoint for some fucking reason.
Oh, yeah, okay. Couldn't have happened to a as expected as ever game.
I'm looking this over right now.
Of all the things I would want to...
makes fucking sense.
Yeah, of all the things I would want to, like, mercilessly monetize, it's Ghost Recon, I guess.
They are trying to say that it is not extremely environmentally fucked up. They're saying that a single transaction for this proof of stake blockchain uses the same amount of energy as streaming 30 seconds of video. Well, here's the thing.
That's not entirely true, is it, buddy?
Listen, here's the thing. I honestly don't care if that's true. Okay? Whatever. This is still useless. Who the fuck cares about having a stake of claim for your pants in Ghost Recon Breakpoint? A game that I don't think anyone plays. And if they do, they're on fucking crack.
Right, they're waiting it out.
Who gives a rat's ass?
To see if they can get this working for other things, too, and putting this in. You know who should give a rat's ass? The developers. If you're a development team and you have NFTs like being pushed onto you by management, you should absolutely be fighting against that as hard as you can. I agree. Not even just because, hey, it's bad for the environment. It is. It's bad for the consumer. It is. It's also going to be terrible for any kind of like design development you're trying to do in your game to get your game to express itself in whatever way you're trying to get it to express itself. And it's really bad for the player base. You are not going to get any respect for your game if it has NFTs in it. And this is a great example, because who the fuck is playing Ghost Recon right now with NFTs in it? Like, no, that's
no.
It's just really bad look for your game. So if you have any self-respect for the games that you make, don't add NFTs to it. Because it's cringe as hell.
It sucks.
There's been a lot of this going around, and
stupid.
I've seen people kind of getting worried, you know, because there's folks that feel like there's nothing that they can really do when NFTs have never been more just across the board, despised.
Nobody likes it.
But they're being pushed by, you know, corporate managers in certain spots, in certain sectors that are trying to force you to believe that it's the future. Which kind of it makes them feel like there's like this inevitability to it. But I want to tell people that fight is so worth it we've got the holidays coming up. It's a great time to talk to your parents, get a feel, because there's nobody is even remotely thinking that this is viable at scale to, like, you know, a community, to people. And it's not going to get the adoption rate that needs to keep hold within, you know, society. And so it's worth it to keep fighting against it at every level. And on top of that, it's going to look like such a cringy fad in 20 years. It will definitely be like, all right, the 20s started, and what a banger start they had, where for a year and a half people tried to privatize images.
It's fucking stupid.
Yep.
It's so stupid.
Yep.
Everyone involved with it is stupid.
Just always debase it by calling it a sad, cheap fad.
It's a sad, cheap fad.
Just like Cutco knives. Just like, you know, Mac makeup. You know, all of those, like...
It's like... This is the 3D TV of this generation right now, because people are trying to implement them and nobody actually cares because it's either too expensive or too stupid. That's what it reminds me of.
And it's just dangerous.
It is dangerous. But like the reason why these companies are trying to hop into this is just because it is something they can put on their plans to be something that investors can look at and be like, oh, I'm getting even more growth.
Yeah.
It is that. And it's brain dead and stupid, and I hate it, and it's useless. So I would like for people to stop doing it.
That fad will break eventually, because the corporations like Ubisoft that are putting in NFTs, they know that this is going to go the wrong way. And so they're kind of hoping for that, because then when they drop it and move on to something else, they'll look like heroes and geniuses. And so it'll all collapse, and especially as we keep fighting it, because it's just so obviously going to collapse. And just, I hope that as soon as it does, we can double back on consumer rights and making sure that people can actually get some goddamn graphics cards again, so people can actually get some computing tech, so that we can get like access to parts that we just don't right now because of crypto mining. But it'll all snap back, and I think that it's just very worth keeping up that fight. I'm optimistic still, I guess is what I'm saying.
All right. So the Game Awards happened this week.
Yep. Game Award.
I guess my first question is just straight up going to be, how did you feel about it? How do you feel right now being post Game Awards, post Keighley?
Post the Keighleys, I could feel worse, actually. After 3.5 hours of ads and trailers, and then like 5-second bursts of Keighley like clasping his hands together to read, this game won an award. This game won an award. Like, the awards were so tertiary to anything else going on that it's...
See, okay.
Yeah? What do you think?
We're gonna talk about this now because it's part of the story.
Yeah.
So, at the same time that the Game Awards happened, the workers of Activision Blizzard announced intent that they are going to be going on strike. I don't think they have actively started striking, but they have announced intent. And they're like gearing up for it and getting ready to unionize. It is like happening as we speak. It is in flux. Can't really say 100% how it's going to go down because it hasn't yet from when we were recording. But I will just say that like at the same time, there are actually protesters outside the Game Awards just being like, not necessarily protesting the Game Awards per se, but for the most part, just trying to protest against how the games industry chews up and spits out so many people all the time.
The
Keighley
labor conditions and the abuses that have been happening there within. Yes.
Keighley was mealy-mouthed about the whole thing leading up to it, especially because Activision Blizzard is on the like the payroll in a way. They are helping fund this event. So it's a bit difficult for Keighley to just be like, yeah, well, fuck him, because then he's not going to probably be able to do all the stuff that he wants to do to legitimize video games. So at the start of the show, he did this fucking little speech where he was just like, we condemn racism and sexism, etc., etc. And then right after that, he showed a Quantum Dream game. Or Quantic Dream.
Yeah, the Star Wars Frontiers or whatever trailers. Eclipse.
Which, multiple times today, I had to hold myself back talking to somebody at the arcade from being like, David Cage is a hack fraud, and I wish that he felt guilt for what he did, because he should, and God, I want him to feel miserable.
Yeah, no, he has damaged so many people, both inside games and outside of games.
Yes.
We have
a scumbag.
Just, I've also been in the same situation where, it's just like, it's so much to talk about when you talk about all of the controversy surrounding David Cage and Quantic Dream as a studio. But just every time it comes up, you have to be like, I don't care what you feel about Detroit Become Human. I don't care if that game spoke to you in any way. I kind of care, actually, if you think that game spoke to you. But like, you got to get over yourself on this, because A, the team is a bad team that makes bad games, and B, the bad games that they keep making are being pushed out to such a degree that we're supposed to care about them, and now they're getting like deals with Star Wars to make a game that's going to be a train wreck, just undoubtedly. Because they, even no matter what you like put down, Quantum Dream has not worked with an IP like this before, and I doubt it's going to be an easy collaboration because it's goddamn Star Wars. Because
it's David Cage, and he's the horrible person and a shithead and a dumbass.
Yeah, if this game comes out, I'll actually be surprised.
Yeah.
If this becomes like a Beyond Good and Evil 2 situation where they like talk about it and put glossy trailers out and then quietly like put it away, I wouldn't be surprised about that either.
Honestly, probably for the best if that happened, which probably means it won't happen because that would actually be good. But
yeah, to the point though, Jeff Keighley talking out of the side of his mouth about, you know, what it was like the vaguest statement about. Like, we don't condone racism and sexism, but not like in the industry, not like in like a space that is like, you know, clarified. It was almost like they were talking about the player base, like, hey, don't scream obscenities while you're playing COD. And I don't know, I'm supposed to look at them and go, oh, thanks, Mom. You're really putting the work in on this one, huh?
I did not name fucking anyone, but of course he could talk about how evil Konami was when they were mean to his buddy Kojima, who immediately landed on his feet and got to make his dream game with all his buddies, you know?
There's parts about Jeff Keighley that I do enjoy. There's parts that I like, and almost none of them have anything to do with his role in the games industry.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Just from what I've seen of Jeff Keighley, I do not know the man personally, so I'm assuming a lot, but I just think he is an extremely naive person who is in a bubble. His parents are very rich, and I think he thinks that he is doing the right thing. Absolutely. I think he absolutely means well.
Right.
I think he thinks that lingering on the bad stuff is just going to make things worse, and he wants to just celebrate games, and he's just like, oh, hey, if a game is trying really hard, if a game is telling a big bombastic story, then that's enough.
Yeah.
And I just don't think he has been challenged enough, because he was in that old guard of games journalism, which, like, his old writing is really good. Like, if you read all of his, like, final hours stuff,
yep,
he's a good reporter. But the thing is that he's good at reporting stuff that isn't challenging. He's good at reporting, like, here's what went down while they were making this game. Not, here's why things happened the way they did. Here's, you know, maybe why this shouldn't have happened. You know, he'll talk about why it was such a crunch to finish up a game, but he's not going to be like, hey, wait a minute, maybe it's actually wrong that people are sleeping under their desks to finish a game.
Yeah, maybe that actually makes a worse game, you know?
Exactly. So, like, I think that, I don't know. Maybe if he didn't just get shoved off to being the awards ceremony guy, maybe he would have better opinions. But now he just exists to ring a bell and be like, ding, 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 hey, everybody, video games are good. Let's celebrate games. And I get it, but it is really hard to be like, hey, let's celebrate games while shit is constantly going down. Like, I don't know. It's almost an impossible task where, like, you want to have this positive thing where, like, you know, the Game Awards are seen by people outside of our bubble, you know? Like, it's one of the only times in the world where, like, mainstream video games does, like, reach out a bit further and hit outside of video games. So it is difficult to be like, oh yeah, well, you know, here's all the cool announcements and everything, but also, man, some lady sure did kill herself after being abused at Activision, huh? Like, I don't know. It's, I feel like asking Jeff Keighley to asking Jeff Keighley to say something that like strong and not beating around the bush is like asking a fish to climb a tree. It's not what he's here for.
I don't.
Almost.
And I think this comes back to your synopsis of Keighley, that he is just that naive. And I think that is actually the clearest and most concise way to, identify what all of the problems are with the Game Awards, because it would be so easy for Jeff to make an actual statement that actually got to like a much corer point or a core part of the system without even alienating his employers and his the people that pay to help keep the Game Awards running. Cause
okay. Let me rephrase this because I don't think it's impossible. I don't think that it shouldn't happen. I'm saying I just don't expect that out of Jeff Keighley as long as he continues to be. He's closed off.
Yep.
That's the thing. He is such a separate thing from the rest of the industry. He doesn't have to deal with this kind of shit. Well, and I think that's kind of part of it.
I think that's part of the reason why it's so frustrating. The other part is that he's the kind of person who will listen to both sides. And by both sides, I mean, he'll listen to a lead dev talk about how good things are and then listen to an entire like group of people being like, hey, it's not good. And then he'll weigh those the same, because one of them's a manager of the thing and one of them's a bunch of employees of the thing.
Yeah, he is still very easily starstruck. Like, the dude is so obviously like he's like a kid in a candy shop whenever he's like, wow, Jim Carrey was on stage for my show. Wow. Like he hasn't gotten to that point where, he can just kind of be, he wants video games to have adult respect, but I don't think he has an adult respect for video games yet. And I think that is the issue. I think that he just wants people to see that video games are selling just as much as movies, are even more popular than movies, but he doesn't want to be like, hey, this is what video games tackled this year. Hey, this is what the games industry tackled this year. Hey, this is what happened in the games industry this year. And again, that's why I think it is like asking a fish to climb a tree. It is he is just not suited for that, I think. Like he has created a bubble around himself. He's created a situation around himself that it's just not something that comes up without like trying to get water out of a rock, basically.
Yeah. I see what you're saying, because that's the angle that he comes to these things at. I'm hoping that we can get to the place where we can ask Jeff, we can tell him, we could, get him into this idea that, hey, if labor is higher quality because the labor conditions are higher quality inside of game studios, that makes games better. Because right now, games are extraordinarily successful. If all Keighley cares about is how successful the games industry is, congratulations, you're number one, you're the best. We can keep telling you every year, you're number one, you're the best, if that's all you want to hear. You're not going to grow, you're not going to change, you're just going to be a little kid in a candy shop forever, and you're going to be number one, and you're going to be the best. But if we can get you to that idea that, like, hey, there's ways that we can make games better, and that's what I want to get to, is, like, I'm playing FF14, which is a game that's been, 10 years in the making, and they managed to complete it and finish it, and it has the same tone, the same themes, the same expression that it had forever ago, is such a testament to a team that has stayed together. Not just at, like, the leads or the team leads have been the same place. Not just like, oh, it's, Koji Fox who runs this whole thing. No. His entire crew has been the same crew sharing a unified vision to make an incredible experience so that they could act on that. If you've got 2-year turnover average or shorter in your teams, you're not going to make a good game. You're not going to make one good game, much less an MMO. That's what we're seeing with Bungie right now. Is that Bungie is collapsing and Destiny sucks. Destiny just sucks. I'm just going to say it. People might like playing Destiny, but as a game, as a whole experience, as a whole wrap, that game sucks. And it's not because the people who are making it aren't talented. They really are. They grab good people, but they don't keep any of them, so they can't make a unified vision, so they make a shitty MMO. And we see that all the time with shitty MMOs. Sorry, this gets my hackles up.
No, that makes sense.
And I can only see it now because of Final Fantasy XIV and seeing a game that can, reach so far and so large because they have a good team and they treat their labor, they treat their team correctly. And it's a massive team. Like, this is no small feat, but they make it look easy. And it makes me go, why can't anybody else do that?
Yeah.
And I think the thing is they can. We just need to be asking the right questions. And I think Jeff Keighley is actually a great person who, if we could get him to ask those right questions, he could do some stuff. We need
to somehow radicalize Jeff Keighley.
Radicalize Jeff Keighley.
Do it, but
not for the sake of video games being important, but get him to understand that video games are important. Everyone already knows and thinks this. Now let's make video games better.
Yeah.
Because the video games we're making over here, they're not really hitting right.
Hey, I didn't really care about pretty much anything they announced the whole Game Awards, so,
Yeah,
it was pretty in one ear and out the other. I mean, I feel like there was some cool stuff, and there was some stuff that, there was cool stuff. There was stuff that I respect, but isn't really for me. But then there was also just a shit ton of stuff that I was just like, fucking shut up. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut up.
It Takes Two, was that the game that won Game of the Year or whatever?
That won Game of the Year, yeah.
It also won, Best Children's Game? Or Best Family Game.
Yeah.
That was the title. And that was a special moment. They made a nice moment out of that in the end, where
they gave that guy an award. They gave that guy an award because he was hollering every year. And sure, whatever. I don't care.
I think it's a little more complicated than that. But the idea that that he made a game that got an award a couple of years ago, and now has made a new game that has won the whole thing, is something that's really good.
Sure.
That is actually a narrative there that kind of gives power to the Game Awards in a way that I don't know if they really are aware of. That's much more than just a meme, Having someone having an individual be a 2-time winner of this event in different years, that's cool. That's aspiring.
So I'm just gonna say I didn't really care about any of the other awards. I am going to argue that I keep saying this, and people are so mean to me about it. No, they're not mean to me about it. I'm being mean.
Yeah.
I'm being mean. I don't think Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitrescu should have won Best Performance for Resident Evil Village.
Really?
I think Heisenberg's voice actor should have won.
Was Heisenberg also nominated? Did they have 2 nominees on it?
He was not. They nominated 2 characters from Deathloop, and they did not. Heisenberg, they put Lady Dimitrescu on that list because people are horny for her. And that's not, I'm not saying don't be fucking horny for her. I'm saying, listen, I'm not saying don't be horny for Lady Dimitrescu. I'm saying Heisenberg as a performance, as a voice performance, especially, was the most memorable character in Resident Evil Village. That guy is grabbing handfuls of scenery and just gnawing on it and chewing on it and spitting it out. Like, it is.
He's chewing on the scenery. Yeah.
Like, you could tell that Maggie Robinson is having a good time as Lady Dimitrescu. I'm not saying she isn't
extraordinary. But I think you've got a good point.
Heisenberg, though.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to pick a character from Resident Evil 7, it would be him. That's just what I gotta say.
Not Ethan?
Ethan's very funny, alright? Ethan is very funny. But he doesn't call Chris Redfield a boulder-punching asshole.
Boulder-punching asshole!
He also doesn't have the most hilarious way of talking ever. Which, again, voice performance. Thank you. That is my case. That I will be pleading.
John, you have an incredible case.
Thank you. Let's go through what they announced.
Now hold up.
Let's do. Oh, okay.
I don't think Lady Dimitrescu should have actually won that award at all. I think that there was many people else on there that were destroying it with their voice performances and how those were in, especially Deathloop, which is not a game that I've played, but I've seen enough of it. I know what's going on to know that 90% of the best and most engaging parts of that game is the discussions, the banter that is being had between
I'm gonna throw that right out.
You don't
and
think
say
so?
That no. I played all the way through Deathloop, and let me tell you, the banter in that game gets fucking grating.
Really?
It gets bad. Like their voice acting isn't bad, but that game absolutely suffers from Whedonism. By the end of that game, you want everyone to shut the fuck up. I am dead serious. Like I think that game, I was legitimately glad that game didn't win Best Narrative, because if it did, I would have lost my fucking mind. It is a really, really poorly written game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I really, really love the systems in that game. I loved playing it. I like the concepts. And again, I think the performances are again, if we're talking about performance, sure. But I don't the writing in that game is so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Yeah, it is so just that sure happened kind of shit. It's so bad.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'm off base. What about some the other stuff that happened during the Game Awards? We did have an announcement for Dunk. We had new Dune. They're making a 4X Dune game so that you don't have to see there's a certain subsection of people that we're just not going to see again when that comes out.
It's gone. Yeah, they're done. They're going to go to the Dune, and they're going to lose their fucking mind. And that's going to be it.
Control the spice. Control the universe.
Get the spice.
Spicy. More than that, though, they did announce a new Sonic game that was exciting for me. Open world.
That got leaked a while back.
Yeah.
Sonic Frontiers.
That was the one I was getting confused with. Sonic Frontiers, that's that one. Yeah.
So that, I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's going to be an open world game.
Yep.
Which, sure. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I don't know what Sonic fans want. I don't think Sonic fans know what they want. I don't think anyone knows what Sonic should be. I feel like every single person has a different opinion of what Sonic should be. Each and every single, I don't think there will ever be consensus. And I think that is the main problem with Sonic, is that there will never be a good Sonic game, because each and every person has an extremely different opinion about each and every Sonic game.
Yeah.
So there's no way to really build off of one singular concept to make something work. It will never happen. So I don't know how this will be. I'm sure it'll be okay, though, because it's being written by the guy who writes the comics.
Yes. Yep.
And people seem to really like those comics. So
yeah, the comics are fun and have just a really diverse selection of ways that they express the world around them. It's fun.
Yeah.
Keep it really lighthearted, but also have deep messages. They do a good job.
And I'm talking about Ian Flynn, by the way. I'm not talking about Ken Penders. If they brought Ken Penders back, honestly, I would probably pick that game up day one if they brought Ken Penders back. I'm not gonna lie. I would need to see that with my own two eyes. I would need to play that game. But no, they have Ian Flynn in for that.
Yep.
And I mean, speaking of bringing in people from the comics, I will say as well, they did show a trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie, which looked pretty fun. I haven't seen the first one, but this new trailer was cute. We got Sonic as played by Ben Schwartz, and Knuckles as played by Idris Elba, and Tails just with the regular Tails voice, which is very funny, but also I'm kind of glad. Tyson Hess, who if you recall, does, I don't know if he still does all the art for the Sonic comics, but at least did some of the art. But you'll recall that he did those Sonic fan comics that everyone fucking loves, and you know what? They're still funny, and it's still very funny that guy made a comic where Knuckles is Nipples the enchilada, and Sega saw that and said, "Hey, all right, this guy's gonna do our Sonic designs for our big movie." And you know what? Those designs are cute. Like, after they fixed up fucked up Freak Sonic,
Yeah.
those designs are cute. Those are good designs.
Yeah, they're completely solid.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. I'm just going to kind of skip around here.
We had a performance by the folks who...
We had a few performances.
There was a couple of them. The one that stuck out to me was they performed the song from Bastion, and it was Imagine Dragons performing the song from Bastion and crouching around all over like he's the Gollum man.
It was bad.
But you know what? That's something that speaks to the power of what happens at the Game Awards. It's really weird. It's bizarre because, like, you have two people here. I'm forgetting his name that does all of the Supergiant Games music.
The Supergiant Games composer.
Yes.
Blank.
The composer, I don't know why I'm forgetting his name all of a sudden. He's headlined an entire year of PAXs. This is someone who is a huge name in a very small pool of games industry, like, type things. Also, Imagine Dragons, they sell out stadiums. So it's like, in a way, they hit a perfect middle ground of, like, both of these individuals legitimize each other in a way that I don't think either of them are necessarily aware of. Actually, well, probably he is, but Imagine Dragons, I don't know if they necessarily know what type of cred that gives them. Or at least the Imagine Dragons guy, I don't even know. It's like, I don't know how that band works, but I figure it's probably just the lead singer dude, and then they have a backup band. I don't know, but I was like watching that, and I was like, I'm hearing everyone in the voice call I'm with being like, oh, how do I skip this in real time, in real life? And I'm just like there, like watching it and kind of a little enraptured, just like, this is kind of what what people ask for when they say they want to legitimize games, because these are technically the right people in the right room, but the mix is somehow just wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
Not a banger.
It's not very good.
I don't know. Was there anything else that stuck out to you?
I mean, let's just keep hopping around. I guess Telltale's back again.
Oh, with the Star Trek game.
I think those are two separate things.
Oh.
I don't think the Star Trek game is them. I think it's stuff he used to... It's former Telltale people are doing the Star Trek thing. But current Telltale people are making a game based on The Expanse, which is an Amazon show that I guess is almost over.
Oh.
That I guess is popular, even though I've never heard anyone talk about it my entire life.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard when it's the Amazon shows. It's hard when it's any of these shows that are just on digital streaming services, because, you know, if you know about the service and you're on it, then it's probably the biggest thing in your life. And to anyone who's not on it, they've literally never heard of it. This was how I felt when I think it was called like The Boys or something, was also on Amazon. And I could not tell necessarily when my friends were talking about a show or just hanging out with the boys.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the big superhero stuff at least kind of trickles out. Like, I definitely heard people talk about The Boys, and I definitely heard people talking about Invincible, but
I couldn't tell you if that was a DC or a Marvel or an Image Comics thing, but I've definitely heard the name Invincible.
Invincible's an Image Comics thing. I think it's an Image Comics thing.
Is it really? Because I just was joking. I thought I was going to put that out there as like a little...
I almost call it third party. I guess it would be third party because it is like not in the big two, but it's one of those.
God, I really thought it was one of the first two.
It definitely isn't.
Okay, well,
it definitely is not. Yeah, it's Robert Kirkman. It's the Walking Dead guy, which is why it has so much. It's just why it has so much gore, because I think he has a gore fetish.
I mean, well, this comes back to the Telltale game, because that's what they're trying to get back on. Is that studio is, well, with the pieces that make up the current Telltale games, again, labor issues, the pieces that make up the current husk that we call Telltale Games, they're trying to get another The Walking Dead type success going, where they can have,
Of course.
they can have access to an IP that already has an established base, and then make something new out of it that is theirs in a way where they can, keep making stuff for it that it goes way beyond the show itself, and making their own stories, which worked good for a minute there. Which also brings us back to the Game Awards for when when The Walking Dead Episode 1 won the Game Awards, the best of the year. And it was this big shining moment for the whole industry like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
So of course Keighley would want to have Telltale on there and see what they're making.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Small world.
You know what they fucking showed at the Game Awards?
Oh yeah, I know what they showed at the Game Awards.
The Gollum game.
The Gollum game!
Gollum game.
Gotta be a little bastard. Gotta be a little man with a rock.
He fucking kills people in that trailer.
He stealth takedowns them.
He dumps a bunch of lava on some orcs.
Were they orcs? I thought they were just people
crazy.
as people.
They were orcs.
It was really funny either way, because he just knew how this whole cave that he was sneaking around in worked, like he had some kind of detective vision or something.
Oh my god, you get to play as Gollum in this entire game. I'm losing my fucking mind. I need to play it.
He looks so rancid and nasty. He looks like a little
He's a little fucking freak.
He's
a little fucking freak.
He should get a love interest in that game.
Oh my god. Well, you know what? He's already got one. You know what it is.
Oh.
It's Precious.
His Precious.
He loves that ring. He doesn't... Yeah. Is there going to be like a love triangle in this game between like... Oh my god, yeah, there needs to be like a girl Gollum that just looks like Gollum, except it's got like lipstick and a bow tie, like Miss Pac-Man.
It would look exactly like Miss Pac-Man, actually.
Yeah, it would. Actually,
I think
girl
you just
Gollum
described
is just
Miss Pac-Man.
It's just Miss Pac-Man, yeah, like the original character Miss Pac-Man, like the yellow circle with the pizza slice taken out of it.
Yep,
that's girl Gollum.
Does not have a different voice. It's the same voice as Gollum.
It's Gollum, yeah. It's still Gollum, yeah, but it's also Miss Pac-Man. PUBG is free to play now, which seems like it kind of...
Was that PUBG's
was
Battlegrounds?
Yeah, that's right. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
Ah, okay. I was confused for a second. Thank you for clarifying that, John.
Of course, yeah. I have to refer to it by the correct nomenclature, or else nobody knows what I'm talking about. It's PUBG Battlegrounds, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Sure. Cuphead's DLC that's coming next June.
Oh, right. And they had a weird song that
it was cute.
It was cute, and also another one of those like things where it's like, if I were just some random person watching, I would feel super alienated by this. And if I were a Cuphead fan, odd. I don't know how Cuphead fans would feel about this, because I don't think this is like a main song from that game or anything.
I think it might have been a new song. I think
it was a new song, and so it was just like this really weird... It was exactly as weird as you would want from the Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they get one. Although I think they took maybe 2 or 3 in their music department, because there were some other performances that were weird.
It was odd. They had Sting out to sing a song from the League of Legends cartoon.
Right, and that was what Imagine Dragons were doing. They were also doing the League of Legends cartoon. What a weird world.
Very odd. They showed gameplay footage of that new Rocksteady Suicide Squad game. You know what? That looks pretty cool.
That game kind of looks great.
It's got really neat movement. I kind of want to play that really bad. I kind of really want to play as Captain Boomerang, because he looks like he does Vanquish slides.
He does Vanquish slides.
He does Vanquish slides.
That's one of the only things you need in a video game.
Yeah. That's all I need to see. It's pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
They're making another Warhammer Space Marine game?
Space Marine 2.
Space Marine 2.
There was something so incredible. If folks were watching that trailer, they see this like kind of gaudy, like over the top shot of the Space Marine man taking his helmet off to reveal his face. And I think the people making that trailer were supposed to like, it was like they were expecting people to go, "Whoa, Space Marine 2!" Like they were supposed to recognize the most meat-headed man you ever saw. But also I think that worked in a way. Because I kind of recognize that guy.
Here's the thing, Solon.
Yeah.
I know people who have recently gotten into Warhammer who straight up said, I saw tweets that were like, I'm a little sorry to say, but I absolutely marked out when that guy took the helmet off because I knew exactly who it was. Like, yeah. If you know Warhammer, you know who that is.
Oh my God.
I don't know Warhammer. I don't know who that guy is, but you know what?
No, that rules for them.
That was it. Yeah. Yeah, that's good for them.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah. I was like watching it. I was like, wait. I had that like the Flash cartoon moment where Lex Luthor takes off the Flash's mask.
I have no idea who this guy is.
I have no idea who this guy. Yeah, but then like with the it had so much prominence to it, so much like performance to it that I was like, someone's got to know who this is. I hope they're having a great night.
They did,
because I remember Space Marine was actually really well regarded.
Yeah, this people are hyped for this, so that's cool.
I'm probably not going to play it. Good for them.
Rumbleverse is the new game by Iron Galaxy. It's a battle royale where it's all melee. You're just like a bunch of like wrestlers like body slamming each other.
This is different from Metaverse?
And, yes.
Yeah. We had a weird bad name.
It's different from multiverses. That's another thing. It is not that.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cute. I think they have, like, some betas going on, so, you know, if I can get into a beta, I'll try it. But, I don't know, I kind of like the idea of just, like, a big ol' fucking, like, battle royale where you're just slamming each other. Like, that's kind of cool. I don't know. I think that's a fun idea.
If they were, you know, if they stuck to wrestling a little more, I might be able to get into it, but from what I saw from everything, it just looked like, it looked like a way less appealing version of the Dodgeball City game.
Sure.
It looked like a way less appealing version of Ninjala. It looked like just one of these multiplayer arena games that...
I don't care for how it looks. I want to put my hands on it and actually like try it because like a bunch of fighting game people are playing it and we're saying that it feels like a fighting game.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think I want to give it a shot for passing judgment, but like also I don't really care for how it looks even now.
It was weird
even though I'm like, oh yeah, this looks cool.
The look is so childish, but the animation in that trailer was really good.
It was nice, yeah.
And there was also they were hyping up the Korean like Breath of the Wild kind of Genshin Impact-esque thing, but it looks for like it's for like little children. They had a big
that stuff like that game gives me a headache.
Yeah. They had a big dancing sequence in the Game Awards, and it was not appealing to me, but I was like, yeah, but the quality on these animations and how they put these rigs together is really good. Someone's working hard on this. I don't know if it's in the right place, but I know I'm noticing it at least.
Something that happens with like, this is something that happens with like Korean and Chinese games, I feel like a lot, that I think that because their games industries are a lot less experienced as other parts of the parts of the world, I think they try a little too hard to do everything, and it's very much a master of none sort of thing. Where like I just saw that that's not always, of course, because you know you see something that like takes off, like Genshin, where it is a lot more focused.
And to your point, that comes from a studio that's had a lot of experience making like masters of none kinds of like, you know, super wide games. And then, you know, after enough time, they figured it out. They got to a point where it made sense.
Exactly. And it's just like, I remember watching that trailer and just, you could just do so much shit. And like, all of it was just all over the place, and I'm just like, there's no way that any of this is going to be as good as they're showing it off to be. There's no way this is going to be that smooth. And I mean, even in that trailer, you could tell that it wasn't. Because they were like in the middle of fights, and it was like, oh yeah, by the way, this is also a monster raiser because you have a bunch of monsters on your team. What? But you can barely tell because you can't fucking see what's going on during the battles because there's just like fireworks going off and like everyone's dancing. And like,
everyone's
you can't
dancing.
Tell what's going on.
What's their battle pass going to be like?
It's going to be obnoxious is what it is. I could tell you that much.
Yep. Any other ones? Any things that like stuck out to you? Because there was a lot of new games that I had not seen before on this list.
They're doing Among Us VR.
Yep.
They're doing...
They did not have to say much. They just had to say that, and
no,
that got us going.
Yeah, that's all they need to say. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is going to be getting ported around. I'm pretty stoked about that. It's not only is it going to be on Switch, PS4, and PC, but they are actually updating it to the 2.5 patch that was arcade exclusive, if you could believe that. They just didn't bother patching it on PS3 and 360 back in the day. They just did the arcade patch and then they never touched it again. I'm a little worried because they said nothing about rollback netcode, which I guess to go all the way to the beginning of the episode, I will say that there were actually announcements at CEO. They confirmed that Black Dahlia would be playable in Skullgirls.
Yep.
Which if you know Skullgirls lore, she's an assassin. She's actually the one who killed Squiggly and her family. So I guess we'll find out about her lore as well. And then they also confirmed that BlazBlue Central Fiction and BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle will both be getting rollback netcode. The Central Fiction netcode beta is actually out as we speak. I don't know if they did it for Cross Tag as well, but they're going to be doing that eventually. And then they did confirm that Baiken is going to be the next character in Strive. That's neat. But, I legitimately think the rollback was, the biggest announcement, and I am kind of worried that they didn't say anything about rollback for Ultimax. I would very much like for it to have that, because I do really like Ultimax, and I would like to be able to play it smoothly without too many errors
the Persona
or anything.
one?
That is the Persona fighting game, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I would like for them to, keep updating it, there's all kinds of rumors that they might just, throw Joker in there instead of doing Persona 5 Arena, which, that makes sense. Maybe they will do a Persona 5 Arena eventually, but I think it makes even more sense to just be hey, we're bringing this back, we're porting it, here's rollback, and also we'll just throw Joker in there because, we don't have enough time to do all these other characters because we're making 17 other games because of our Arc System Works.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. I would like for them to make a Persona 5 Arena or just some other form of sequel to this eventually, especially because, hey, it's the Persona series' 25th anniversary. I would love for them to, dig deep here. Hell, I would like for them to, maybe put the Persona 1 and 2 characters in there. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. But yeah, that's nice tentatively, because it will be nice as soon as they confirm rollback. But, if they don't, then it will be a little less nice. It'll be cool to have the update and to be able to play it on a current gen console, but it will actually be nice if it has rollback netcode. Everything, whatever. They showed the Middle Earth people, the Monolith, not Monolith Soft, but Monolith, are making a Wonder Woman game.
Okay.
Sure. I think that fits them pretty well.
Yeah.
But the two best things they announced, at least in my opinion, was Slitherhead, which is a game by I think is it Slitter or
whatever sounds worse in your head, that's the one it is.
Slither.
Because it's a very grimy looking game. It's got a little kind of grindhouse feel.
Grody. Yeah, it's grody as hell. There's a lot of monsters coming out of people's faces and shit, and growing out of people's bodies. It's pretty sick. It's by some of the Silent Hill folks who aren't working at Konami anymore. So that's neat.
I like that they have one trick in that, and that's you know how people have heads with faces on them, and those faces have mouths that eat stuff? What if that's not where they ate from, though?
What if they ate from
And so they just show people's necks opening up and their torsos opening up.
Yeah.
There's sharp teeth, and there
Scary.
you go. Whoa! Ah!
Scary. Scary.
It looked fun.
But speaking of horror, hey folks, it's finally happening. Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
They're calling it a survival horror game, which is interesting. They're saying it will be coming out 2023, which sure, take your time, folks. Also, I am looking, it is Slitterhead. You are right. It is not Slither, it is Slitter.
When I heard the name, I was like, that's an incredible name for a game. I hate saying it, and I want to say it more.
Slitterhead. Slitterhead.
Yeah, right? You keep saying it, and it still sucks.
Slitterhead. Yeah, it's fucking, I want to say raunchy, but not in like a sex way, just like in a fucking like grimy, fucked up, gross way. Like, ugh, here we go, Slitterhead. Yeah, Slitterhead. There might have been some other like small stuff that I hope I'm not.
You actually
skipping
you didn't
over.
say the one that I've been thinking about. Because
hey, you know what? You could talk about it. I think I have an idea.
There was a game that they announced that looked really exciting, and I'm trying to find the name of it, and I'm just not finding it anywhere. But it was a game about a girl getting teleported to some fantasy world. That is Forspoken. Forspoken, yes. Thank you.
I'm a little hesitant about that game because I think it looks really cool, but in that first trailer that they showed, because this was not announced here, this was announced, I think, during E3, that first showcase, the dialogue was really Whedon-y.
Sure.
But, I don't know, maybe they tighten it up a little bit, it's not out. But, I mean, the second trailer looked way better.
I think that the style of it, and the basic premise that they're going for is areas that really aren't touched on much in that kind of presentation. It's like a Western fantasy adventure game like we'd get, but instead of it having, being about a specific time period or about some big bulky person going to war, it's like this small girl.
Space Marine.
Yeah, Space Marine 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, Forspoken has like this identity to it. Where it's like, oh yeah, this person looks cool, and they go back in time, and they go to this faraway land, and they get to go do cool person things in the faraway land. They get to ice skate on like boards of ice and do kick flips off of stuff. And I'm like, okay, no, this is the style that I want to play. That looks fun. And so I got excited just from the premise, just from the look and style of it alone, because it just combined a bunch of things I liked into a package that I've not seen before. And so I was like, let's go Forspoken. Show me what you got. It doesn't necessarily live and die on its dialogue, which makes me feel a lot better, because there's been a lot of adventure games lately that really do.
Mm-hmm. I'm maybe being I don't know, I may be stereotyping you, Solon, a little bit, but the last game that I thought you were going to bring up, but how are you feeling about what you saw of Thirsty Suitors?
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that game because I keep forgetting that it was in the Game Awards like main show. I thought it was part of the Future of Play Direct that they had like 2 hours before. And no, Thirsty Suitors looked really fun. We've been seeing a lot of kind of, well, not we in any kind of mainstream sense. Just I've been seeing a couple of, like, ever since Boyfriend Dungeon, there's just been a lot of like little cutesy, like, we'll make some dating sims that are like slice of life that are like modern day kind of stuff. No, Thirsty Suitors just looks fun and is expressing things that are way beyond, like, it's not a dating sim. It's just not. And so, no, I loved that. I was absolutely like, once I saw it, I had to share it out with as many people as I could find. And it was just the moment that I saw Mom, twirling a 20-pound dumbbell like a pencil. I was like, oh, okay. This is a game about love, and it's about parents too. And so I was just very, very excited for that. And so it's by the Falcon Age people. And Falcon Age was a game that I thought was good. All of the systems and things that it expressed were really cool. And I just couldn't get into the story just because it just wasn't, it wasn't my kind of thing. And at the time I was playing it, I was already playing a bunch of like explore around open world type games that also had really loose like stories that they were telling. And while it presented super well, I just couldn't get into it and I couldn't finish it. And so now that I'm seeing this, where they're taking all of those things that they made with Falcon Age and making like more concrete systems, like, dancing and cooking and grinding rails to get around and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, now we're talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sounds neat.
We're going to have love. We're going to have movement systems. We're going to have just a good mess of all the things that I love. Mm-hmm. Also, it's got that story about being about exes. You got to take out your exes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Solon, is there anything else that you'd like to say about the Game Awards before we move on to questions?
No, I didn't think we would even be getting that much out of the Game Awards. That's great. There were definitely things to enjoy there.
I made probably the worst tweet I've ever made in my entire life during that. I just tweeted out, she's Jeffing on my Keeleys. I hope he sees that.
He has to. If you put his name on it, he's going to see it.
I bet he wants to fucking kill me. I bet he so wishes that he could just wrap his fucking hands around my neck and just be done with it.
It's time.
I've had enough of you. You've had enough. You have said enough on this fucking website, you piece of shit.
The bell tolls for you.
I'm gonna show the world premiere of your funeral, motherfucker. Rancid. Let's move on to questions. If you want to send in a question, go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. You'll sound like these folks right here. Shoeless asks, do you think Gollum could get into Fortnite? I think he needs to be into Fortnite. I think he needs to be added to Fortnite. I think they need to make sure that he is... Okay, so there's two options here.
Yeah?
I think the question is less, will Gollum get into Fortnite? It is more, how will he get into Fortnite? Do you think Gollum will very specially have like a crouched over pose, which will make him top tier because he'll be harder to shoot? Or do you think Gollum will be standing up straight like a normal human being, which would be extremely funny to see with Gollum, especially with his like little fucking loincloth and everything?
Oh, wow. You really kind of got to the heart of things where an all Gollum Fortnite round would actually be really difficult.
It'd be very scary.
Oh,
I wouldn't want to see it.
100 Golems get dropped onto an island and
oh my god.
Who gets Victory Royale?
I think Gollum should be in the melee focused battle royale. I want to see Golems just ripping each other fucking shreds.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. No guns, no knives, just fucking empty hands, biting mouths, screaming, rage, anguish.
Oh, my hesitation to Shoeless's question was actually more just that how close that we are to something like that happening, and it just
it's
feels
absolutely
impossible. Oh, yeah,
insane shit all the time.
Hashtag Golem game.
Golem game, yeah. God, I'm gonna play the hell out of that. It's either gonna be really bad, which will be funny, or like exceptional. I don't think there's any in between. And also, I think if it's really, really good, I think that's also very funny because then it's the extremely good Gollum game, and that's just stupid in its own way.
Yep.
I'll be sending a question. This one is also about Gollum.
Oh,
just in case you thought that it wouldn't be. This also involves Gollum, I guess I should say. Gollum's a fucked up little man. Don't know if they're actually going to make Lord of the Rings a big multimedia thing when the Amazon series comes out, but what IP, video games or otherwise, would be absolutely the worst in getting that Marvel Extended Universe-like treatment. I already saw an announcement of an adaptation of some Edgar Allan Poe work that they might be ramping up to be part of a bigger thing. What would be the worst cinematic universe, you think?
The worst cinematic universe possible?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ken Penders could work on one. The Knuckles cinematic universe.
He legitimately tried to. He wanted to make a Knuckles movie about like Knuckles and his family, and they didn't let him.
Good. That the system still works somehow, as intended.
Yeah, thank fuck. Yeah.
Just the god awful worst IP. I think we could make a real good video game choo-choo cinematic universe.
Cinematic universe?
Yeah.
That sounds horrible. Let's do it.
I think we could do it.
Each of us gets a movie. Gollum would be involved somehow. Yeah.
Like, Scott would have his own little multiverse kind of going on as like a pocket side of everything with all those funny characters he made up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
I would just have like a Survivor-esque dating game where, we're just eliminating each other left and right.
Yeah. I wouldn't go see the Machonsky movie. That sounds horrible.
It would just be the Machonsky movie. No, you've got a good thing here. All right. John's big day.
John's big day, yeah. Go and sleep until 2 p.m., big life.
It's like the opposite of The Hangover, where instead of the opening being a hook that's like, how did we get here? It's just John waking up. We know exactly how we got here.
I know how I got here. And it's video games and bad decisions. Oy.
I just think that I could make a really good Danganronpa out of the 10, 11 of us. That's all. I don't know,
Sure. Yeah, if we have to kill each other, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least just like Gollum, we could go Gollum on each other and just rip each other to shreds. There you go. Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you're on this website for too long. You just lose all humanity and you turn into like a shriveled up little freak.
Yeah, no, I think Maverick could Gollum kill somebody and try to pin that on you or Scott and
right.
Oh yeah, right. No, this got some legs on it.
I could see it.
I don't know who he would kill, but I just think that he would enjoy the idea of getting to get down on squat on down with a big rock and just go in Gollum mode.
I think that's kind of the point of it, is that you don't know who it is until it happens.
No, you go full Gollum mode when that happens.
It just happens, yeah. It just happens. Last question here. Anonymous asks, for John specifically, a question about CEO.
Oh, hey, I get the day off. Nice.
If you're going to take Jabali on in a wrestling ring, what finishing move would you use to beat him? And then they said, okay, after John answers, you can also answer. So you don't get to take the day off. You get to answer. I don't think I'd be able to defeat Jabali in the wrestling ring. That man is legitimately buff. He could, if he wanted to, he could probably rip me in half. If he just like grabbed my legs, he could probably rip me in half.
Oh yeah. No, okay. I'm your booker though. You've got 9 minutes. Okay. You take Jabali. You're going over. So, what's the end? What's the finish?
I'm going to do my signature attack, the worst move in the history of the world, when the Undertaker grabs the guy's arm and walks up onto the rope for no reason, and then does like a really stupid looking little drop onto it.
You're gonna finish it with the last ride?
No, that's not the last ride. The last ride is that. That's like that big, like, he just does like a big slam for that. No, I'm talking about when Undertaker quote unquote goes old school.
Goes old school. Yeah. It's the old school.
It sucks. It sucks so fucking much. Listen, as an adult, I know that the Undertaker, the man who plays the Undertaker is a bad person, but listen. When I was a kid, Undertaker was absolutely my favorite wrestler. It was so cool just to have this fucking purple man walk out and be evil every few weeks. It was cool.
Yep.
Whenever he did that move, I was like, why is he doing this? What the fuck is going on? And
what does
why
that
is this something that he has in his why does he have this in his repertoire? What is going on here? This is a fool's maneuver and he should stop using it. But everyone would be so fucking excited whenever he would do it, because it was like, dude, yeah, here's this like 70-year-old grandpa walking up and balancing on the rope. Like it's technically impressive, that he's this big old dude, like legit really, really tall. Like it's probably like a legit feat that he's able to balance himself so well on the fucking ropes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, but it looks dumb as shit. And it doesn't fucking look like it does anything. It's like, it's very dumb. So yeah, I would absolutely do the old school to Jabali just because I think it's funny.
Why all that setup for something that's just an arm attack? Like, drop an elbow in their head or something,
Yeah.
That's a very good choice.
Oh. Yeah, that's my answer.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jabali. I am scheduled to go over and I don't know why. I think the best way to go about it is that Since Jabali can absolutely overpower me and overwhelm me, we're going to need a little bit of a distraction.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the best way to go about it so that all the fans go home extremely mad at me at CEO is that we're going to need... You know what? I think if I have someone come down to the ring with me and they get on the side of the ring and then they take their mask off that they had on.
And Jabali's like, no, you got to put that back on.
You have to put that mask back on. You have to put, and then I roll up behind him and I just roll him up and I get a 3 count.
Small package?
Just small package them up.
I think it's very funny that we both went with, we're going to do the dumbest possible thing.
And then everyone's just, I don't
Everyone
even know who this blue-haired dude looks like an asshole, wrestles like an asshole.
I mean that's what they did with Jabali when he came out during AEW. Everyone was like, bro, this is the worst thing we've ever seen. But then, if you just think about it as like, he's kind of just some guy who does fighting game tournaments and he like very lightly trained how to be a wrestler. Like, it's kind of impressive.
Oh yeah, but it's fun.
Like, it would be very funny to get to put honestly, you doing that would put Jabali over more than anything.
Yep.
So there you go. I think he would agree to that.
That's how I'm getting booked for another match. That's what's up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. You figured it out. This isn't a one and done deal. Y'all got a rivalry now. Smart. That's how you do it in the business, as they say. Well, folks, I think that does it. I'm very tired from work.
Yeah, you basically just did a double. This is 2 shifts here.
Yeah, for fucking real. Thank you so much for listening, though. If you would like to continue to follow us around, we have our website, videogamechoochoo.com. We have our Twitter account, @VGChoochoo. We have our Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. We have a Facebook page, which is just facebook.com/videogamechoochoo. We have our YouTube. You can look up our stuff on YouTube, and you can see it. We got stuff going up sometimes. It's pretty cool.
I just had a interview with the Silver String developers of Glitch Hikers Spaces Between. And you should all listen to that, because, oh my god, it is like 2.5 hours of dynamite.
That's not on YouTube, is it? No.
Oh, sorry, you were talking about YouTube. I was talking about on the website itself.
I was talking about YouTube. Listen, no, you were so fucking stoked about that. Here, yeah, we could talk about that real quick. Because that was on Patreon for a bit.
Yep.
That was patreon.com/VGCC. If you pay $3, you get early access to stuff like that. But it's available for free now. Solon, do you want to talk a little bit about how that went down?
Yeah, no, I've just interviewing them with Walker was there. It was an interview that really encapsulated, because I've been following them for the last 7 years. The last time I got to interview them was on a small YouTube production called the Alternative Digital Arts Festival. And that was right after they had put out the first Glitch Hikers, which is now Glitch Hikers The First Drive. And you can just download that one for free. And so, like, just following their the work that they do and how they've managed to get to a point where they made this game that really inspired a lot of folks, and did genuinely change the industry in a major way. The independent games industry has changed because of that. To see them over the last 7 years take on a bunch of jobs, working on other projects, just working as like what is it called? when you're a consultant, they're doing consultancy, right? While in the background, always just like, all right, we're going to get back to this Glitch Hikers idea. We're going to get back to this, and we're going to make it bigger than before, and also be a new level of direction for the independent games industry. To kind of like, finish that narrative that we promised 7 years ago with the first drive.
Right.
That we can do more than just a 30-minute kind of like art style game. Now that art game is just what a normal game looks like. And there's publishers now who develop for those specific types of styles. And they're now working with Fellow Traveler, who's much of their stuff is inspired from Glitch Hikers 7 years ago. So like, just hearing it from their perspective was really, really nice. It was something where just by the end of it, I was like, wow, we went over everything. We talked about budgeting. We talked about how things go during the pandemic, how development went during that, being a small team, the types of ways they're trying to express new like styles of performative play, as well as as well as narrative directions, ways you can tell stories inside of games. The architecture of those dialogues, it's awesome. It was amazing. It was cool to be a part of, and I think they did an incredible job just explaining what they're doing with Glitch Hikers coming up. They told me a whole lot of things that I did not think or know that they would be able to tell me about. And I think
it's rad.
Walker being there was such a was such a perfect medium for me, like overly marking out about really specific details, and him like pulling things back to being like, all right, let's look at this from. I have some much like more grounded questions that they were able to pick up and be like, oh yeah, this is what people are really thinking about too for a new Glitch Hikers game. Oh, it was cool. The great people in a great room.
Yeah. Rock and roll.
And now you can just listen to it. It's like 2.5 hours long, and every minute of it is gold from my humble perspective. Just what they were talking about was very cool.
Yeah.
It's the future of games.
It's good. Mm-hmm.
That's the Starlight car.
Absolutely. And of course, you can follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/VGCC. We have our, Patreon again, patreon.com/VGCC. You can get stuff like that early if you wish. We have our Discord server, thegamezone.zone. You type that into your web browser and it'll bring you straight there. We're always hanging out. We're always having a good time there. And of course, thank you to Meltchannel/Magic Circuit for the theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. If you want to listen to their stuff, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. Thank you so much for listening. Solon, where can people find you?
Hey, you can find me at ChorbySP on twitter.com. You can find me on twitch.tv at ChorbySP. We're making some wild stuff. We're playing games. We've got Until We Beat of the Matrix series, the entire thing. If Twitch thinks that Chorby SP can't stream the Matrix on Twitch, they got another thing coming.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Matrix games. I'm going to beat them all.
I bet. Good on you.
Including that new Unreal Engine one.
That's probably going to take you 10 minutes.
I hope so.
That'll be a good wind down. Folks, you can find me at JOHN_MICHONSKI on Twitter, and that's it. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. So long.
Oh, no. Don't log out. Back in the queue. All right. Thanks, Final Fantasy.